Peace and light that I've got Australia. Like, share, subscribe, Instagram and YouTube. Now, I just wanted to share something with you pretty quickly. Well, first of all, I'll show you where I am. This is a beautiful Handkerchief Beach. Now, it's low tide-ish. Tide's on the way in, as you can see. Tide's coming in. It's a stunning area. I'll try to get the camera up a little higher for you. There you go. Now, over summer, of course, it's packed to the hilt here. There'll be, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people here. They come from the caravan park, which is only 300 or 400 metres away. And, of course, that's a headland of private property up there. And this goes out to the beach, which I'll show you. One of my favourite places on the south coast. And then you can see it just going out there to the ocean. Alright, which I'll show you in a second. Now, I wanted to bring to your attention something that I'm just regurgitating what I know. It's funny, I went to do this video this morning and I was thinking, is there anything that I know that someone hasn't told me? And then I began thinking about everybody in the world. And I'm thinking, is there anything anybody knows that nobody told them? I mean, if you think about it, you go to school and you get taught a tremendous amount of stuff. But everything you get taught, somebody has discovered, worked out, put down on pen and paper, whatever might be the case. And then it's being taught. So everything that you're being taught is something somebody else knew. Like there's nothing new under the sun. So every opinion we have has been formulated by things that we know, that we've been told by other people. Our societal upbringing and the company that we keep. But nothing is original. Nothing is original. Even though I say I have my own form of faith, and I don't shy away from that, it's not a standard thing. I don't subscribe to faith in the way that many others do. And most people who go to church, for argument's sake, wouldn't think of me as a Christian necessarily. And the way I speak and my behaviour at times would more than likely justify their opinions. If you go down that road and say, well, this is how a Christian should be, or this is how a person of faith should be. And speaking of faith, and this is what got me onto the subject when I was driving along. And by the way, thank you. Yes, I'm probably 100% better. I'm feeling fantastic. No drugs, no doctors. Fantastic. Thank you, Ellie Bede. Ellie, you're amazing for your mullein tea. And today when I'm down there, I'm going to hopefully get a little footage of it and show you what it looks like growing and get an explanation from Ellie as to its uses. It's amazing stuff. God, it's not bad to drink either. It's quite nothing, Now, this is something that should have been front and centre on all news channels, and I'll go into it in a sec. And I don't understand how it's been dismissed. I don't understand how it's been ignored. I don't understand why people don't want to know. I don't understand how they don't know. But for those who do know, then you'd be well aware that the Vatican, about 3 weeks ago, released an edict to all Vatican-controlled institutions worldwide, or financial institutions worldwide. Now, this decree was issued by the Pope, and it came via the Vatican Bank. And the Vatican Bank, if you know, is not actually the name of the bank. It's got some other weird name like the Financial Institution for Giving or something. But known as the Vatican Bank. And if you aren't aware, the Vatican is in the state of its own state in Italy and Rome. They're answerable to nobody, basically. But their wealth is insane. So what they've done is they've issued an edict which has at its core the return of all financial assets to the Vatican Bank by the end of this month. That's only 4 days away in Australia, 5 days away everywhere else. This is really disturbing news. And I mean, most of us know about this, but it is really disturbing news. You'd have to ask yourself, if the world knew that the Vatican Bank was recalling all financial assets from around the globe, from England, through Europe, from America, all to be returned to the Vatican Bank by the end of this month. That includes Swiss bank accounts anywhere. They've recalled all financial assets to the Vatican Bank in Rome by the end of this month. That's 5 days away. And you'd have to ask yourself, why? I mean, that's got to sound alarm bells for the average person. I don't care if you're a tradie in the street like me, or you're a mum or a dad, or whether you're retired. I don't care who you are. You should be asking yourself, what on earth is the Vatican doing, closing all its accounts right across the world and bringing all its financial assets and money back to Rome by the end of this month, September? I mean, you know, there's so much speculation as to what's going on in the world. And I can tell you now, I've said this once before, I really wanted to do some videos. I go to work, on the way I'm watching videos, I'm doing research, I'm looking at things, and I think, man, I'll do something on that this afternoon when I get home. When I get home in the afternoon, there is so much more. And it's like, whatever I was thinking about in the morning is gone, it's pointless, it's finished. It's like there's something else. The world is literally careering at this incredible pace, and the average person has no knowledge of it. None. They're totally oblivious to it, unaware of what's going on. And it's careening at this mad pace. Things are taking place rapidly across the world. Some will say things like the white hats are in control. I saw a video the other day which was astonishing, because the guy was legitimate. I looked him up, fully legit. Ex-Navy officer in the United States, high up in the military. And he gave a statement where he said, I can tell you 100%, this is something you can take to the bank, unlike the Vatican, that in every single military installation across America, well, when you go into the main office, they always display the Commander-in-Chief's photo, and that's the President of the United States, because he's the Commander-in-Chief. The President always has the control of the military. And he said, I'll tell you, 100%, no word of a lie, no conspiracy, no bullshit. Every single base that I've been to across America does not have a picture of Joe Biden. They do not. It's not there. You know, and there's people speculating about things. You know, the white hats are in control. This is going to happen. This is happening. That's happening. You know, they're wearing masks. They're not actually, they're what we call crisis actors. And some of this is true. There's no doubt in the world. There's absolutely no doubt. A lot of this is true. But sorting the truth from the lies is incredibly difficult. And I don't think anybody knows. You know, the mark of the beast, return of the Antichrist, Revelations, end times, global collapse, economic ruin, massive food shortages and outages, no gas, no oil. Man, it's so intense. And there are things going on, like 72 of the world's biggest food manufacturing plants, throughout America anyway, or in Europe as well, have been burnt to the ground. All of them burnt. How the hell did 72 major food producing outlets burn to the ground? How did that even happen? Nothing suspicious, they say. No, been investigated. It's not an issue. I'm just stunned. You know, if you had 3 or 4 in your You get a dozen, you go, well, there's something going on here. When you get 72, you got to understand this is no coincidence. It's just not. It can't be. You'd have to be the most ardent idiot to think that conspiracy theorists were wrong in determining that something was going on. You know? It can be debilitating. It can be very, very intense. It can look like a hopeless situation. And one of the things I'm doing is a series on hope. At least I'm trying. And the people I've got to interview are just people I've learned about, and I've got their story and gone, wow, total admiration, total admiration. You know? Like I share. Kimmy Kennedy. We've got a wonderful Aboriginal artist who I'm going to be interviewing. I'm getting hold of him is difficult because he's a social butterfly. But anyway, all isn't lost when you have hope. In fact, we live in the most exciting times this world's seen. I never thought I'd be alive to see this. Isn't it funny? People call you a conspiracy theorist. And I think, well, there's 2 billion Christians around the world. 2 billion Christians. 2 billion. And they all believe in the return of a man who was born of a virgin birth. 2 billion of them. A man who's going to come and rule and reign and destroy evil. That's a pretty big thing to believe. Well, they built buildings where they worshipped this person whom they'd never met or known. Built buildings to honour him, sing songs of praise to, donate money towards furthering the cause. They pray to for healing and salvation. 2 billion. So how on earth are they not conspiracy theorists as well? Born of a virgin. A woman who never had sex but gave birth to a supreme being, the son of the creator of the universe. I mean, think about it. And probably half those people went and had themselves injected with something that's still in trials. It was never meant to do anything other than kill and maim. But that's conspiracy theory. It's quite astonishing, really, what people will and won't believe. But we need hope. We fought hard the last 3 years. We fought very, very hard. Separated from family and friends. Lost jobs. Ridiculed, smeared, kicked out of establishments, mocked. For 3 years. And we've stopped fighting that fight now because it's over. People are injected or you're not. You've either had 1, 2 or 3, 4 or whatever. And we know from collated facts, absolute collated facts, country by country, as Senator Malcolm Roberts put on public record in Parliament the other week, the death tolls around the world, in every country, are soaring to staggering levels. Isn't it amazing? No one's taking any notice. They want to hide this. They know. So what are they doing? Well, they've got to rush things through. They've stepped up. As Klaus Schwab said with Antonio Guterres from the UN the other month, we're bringing Agenda 30 forward. We have to. And of course they have to, because they're being exposed. The truth's coming out. So now the race is on. Who's going to win? Will this fourth Reich be established? Will a new world currency be brought in? Will a new world government be brought in? Will the one world passport be brought in? Will the new world, one world military be brought in. Or will good triumph quickly? Now, according to those 2 billion people who follow Jesus Christ, all this has to be put in place first. It has to happen, according to them. According to the book that they follow, all this will be established first before Christ returns to tear it all down and destroy it all. Now, according to the others, the white hats are in control with the military and this won't take place. The fight is on and they will defeat them and expose them before. So like I say to you, those who say they know what's going to happen, I think they're just kidding themselves. They really are. But one thing, again, that I do know is we're living in very exciting times. Fearful, but exciting. We're going to witness something take place that nobody else will. Because I can assure you of one thing. What is currently in place in the world cannot remain. It can't. It has to be completely removed, pulled down and destroyed and rebuilt from the ground up. Because right now, whether you understand it or not, evil, corruption and greed rule the entire planet through business, distribution of wealth, you name it. They control and own everything. It's not the good, it's the evil, it's the greed, it's the corrupt. Once that's all removed, then a brand new structure can be rebuilt. Now, 2 billion Christians believe that'll be brought about by God or Christ. 2 billion Muslims believe that'll be brought about by Allah. So there's 4 billion conspiracy theorists, along with everybody else. Conspiracy theories. I can't believe you don't believe in one. Not one. You think the government's just, never ever lied to you? If you want to look up the biggest conspiracy theory you've ever heard of, check out fossil fuels. Because there's so many of you out there now who still believe that oil was produced, all these massive trillions and trillions of gallons of litres of whatever of oil, and half it hasn't never been discovered even, that's underneath the Earth's surface, right? Most of you believe, because you've been fooled by the media, that that was actually created by pressure put on fossils, ancient skeletons and fossils, and rubbish, buried and compressed and turned into oil. There's no scientific evidence to how that happens, or why there would be so much of it. And nobody thinks, well, how come there's 6,000 billion trillion little gallons of the stuff and half it hasn't even been discovered? How much plant life and animal life do you think was on the planet? And how did it all get under there? Was the great flood that the Bible talks about, was that real? You don't believe him? Is that how it all got buried? And it got pushed under what? Trillions of tons of earth? And that's been compressed through some method we don't know about and mixed with things we don't know to create this oil? God help me. It's an infinite source, yeah. The only infinite source here is self. We are the supreme beings. And some way, somehow, down the track, we not only have to realise that and come to that realisation, but we've got to stand up and do something about it. Anyway, I'm off to work. Late, but better late than never. It's been a big morning. Peace and light, that old guy Australia. And remember, in the end, we win.